Apostolate of Holy Motherhood, Introduction, by Mark Miravalle. Part 1. Background. It was at the request of Father Michael Scanlon, President of the Franciscan University of Steubenville, that I began a process of preliminary investigation into a series of reported supernatural visions taking place within the continental United States. Visions that, if authentic, will have a profound and worldwide impact on the nature of one of the most sublime vocations in the human spectrum, the vocation of Christian motherhood. I received a manuscript of approximately 80 typewritten pages, which contained messages that were transmitted through a number of reported visions. These visions took place during the months of February through August 1987, which consisted of the first part of the 1987 Marian year declared by Pope John Paul II. The manuscript had been forwarded to Father Scanlon by the present spiritual director and confessor of the person reporting to have received the visions. The spiritual director requested that a theological study be made into the messages and concurring phenomena to verify that nothing in their contents was in any way contrary to faith and morals as taught by the magisterium of the Church. The visions consisted principally of appearances of Jesus Christ and the Blessed Virgin Mary. The initial visions of Jesus were primarily under the appearance of the Christ child, with the expressed intention of manifesting the tenderness of Jesus' love, as well as fostering a renewed respect for the dignity and value of children in our present tragic age of abortion, child abuse, and child neglect of both the physical and spiritual nature. The visionary describes the Christ child as being very young, somewhere between 1.5 and 2.5 years of age. He wore a grayish off-white tunic and sometimes appeared wearing a crown. The visionary described the voice of the Christ child as being gentle but with authority when he spoke. I immediately did the things he requested because he spoke with such authority. The Blessed Virgin Mary would normally appear with the Christ child, holding him in her arms, and would usually reveal a message that would serve to introduce, conclude, or simply complement the revealed message of the Christ child. The Blessed Virgin would appear in varied dress, and sometimes with a white veil over her head that would wrap across her shoulders, sometimes wearing a crown, or in a traditional image of Our Lady, such as Our Lady of Mount Carmel or Our Lady of Sorrows. In the later visions, our Lord and the Blessed Mother appear more regularly under the images of the Sacred Heart of Jesus and the Immaculate Heart of Mary. The visionary has remarked that even when our Lord appeared as a grown man in the image of the Sacred Heart, that his gentleness was greatly manifested. Even when he was admonishing, it was done with such great gentleness. The specific visions recorded from February 8, 1987 to August 11, 1987 are the body of messages that are to comprise both this booklet and the preceding spiritual movement of the Apostolate of Holy Motherhood and Catholic Families, which we will discuss in greater detail shortly. These principal visions are preceded by a few preliminary visions in the later part of 1986 and the first part of 1987, which depict our Lord in his glorified state, our Lord in his passion, the Blessed Mother with her Immaculate Heart exposed, as well as visions of various women saints known for their profound purity, St. Catherine of Siena, St. Anne, and St. Clare of Assisi. Although the visionary has experienced various visions since the period of February to August 1987, she has a certainty that only the messages given during that approximate 7-month time period are the specific messages intended by our Lord and the Blessed Mother to commence the spiritual and silent movement of the Apostolate of Holy Motherhood and Catholic Families.